What's up, YouTube? Shawn DaGamer here, and sorry about the lack of videos over the past couple of days, but I've just been really tired. It's like one of them out of nowhere tires. They're like, normally I wake up like around 7 or 8 o'clock in the morning. Yesterday or the day before, what was it? What's today? Thursday? So Tuesday, I didn't wake up till like 11, 12. Today, well, yesterday I didn't wake up till like 10 or 11. I don't know. It's just been weird. So I just want to spend a little time talking about why I don't. I've waited, and now Monday we finally got the blow off of the Charlotte and Sasha Banks feud, and they're trying to make this one of the greatest rivalries of all time. And my thing is, how can you have a greatest rivalry when other rivals have not been established on the main roster yet? You know what I'm saying? Like, you on Raw, you mainly just have Sasha Banks and Charlotte. So which is going to be the default greatest feud on that brand, because they're the only two really fighting each other for the title. You know what I'm saying? It would have been so much different if this was like over a year or 2 or 3 build up of them being on the main roster and excluding what they did in NXT. But as a main roster feud, Charlotte, when I do my top 10 wrestlers list, Charlotte will be number 1. And Asuka will be a strong number 2. The spoilers now. But well, you're just counting the main roster from the time Charlotte and Sasha Banks debuted in the Divas Revolution last summer till now. It does not qualify as a greatest rivalry. It just does not. Because you had the PCB, Team Bella, and whatever other one it was, Team Bad. You had that stuff. And then all of a sudden, Sasha Banks is off TV, and Charlotte is the champion. Charlotte, at that point, didn't really... She had Becky Lynch for the longest, before the brand split, and nobody really else. I think Sasha may have 1 or 2 tries, but nothing really paid off until she actually won the belt during that summer. But she was still off TV for the longest, during that time period. And then we had to put her up with oh my gosh, she has fallen so far from the pedestal I tried to put her on, Dana Brooks. I saw so much potential in Dana Brooks, and now they swept her to the side. And even with Emma, Evil Emma was great, and I don't know what they're doing with this Emmalina thing. Like, I hope she still comes back as Evil Emma, and this is just like a swerve, like I said, with the whole Brodus Clay thing when he came out with the Funkadactyl, or the Funkasaurus, and everybody thought he was going to be like this killer monster and things like this. So I hope they're doing like the reverse, where she's going to be like, she's supposed to be like this model and things like this, but she's actually like, Evil Emma. And other than that, it does not qualify. If you just talk about the year and a half they've had on the main roster, it does not qualify as a greatest rivalry, and they've rushed it. And in that time period, they've made Sasha Banks a transitional champion. Like, she gets the belt, whoop-de-doo, and then she's going to lose it at the next pay-per-view. And you can also make the argument that it makes Charlotte a transitional champion, but it doesn't, because at the end of the feud, she came out on top. It's like, since Charlotte has the longest reign as, the women's champion, because her and Sasha Banks are the only two that have had it at this point. As you came in, you're holding the belt for months and then losing it, and it was pretty much like a power struggle for her to get it back. Yeah, that's interesting, but where at that time you're devaluing the rest of your women. Like, where was Bayley? She got called up a little later. Where was Nia Jax? Where was Alicia Fox? Where was Emma? Where was Summer Rae? Paige is off, being crazy in doing her own little thing, but at the same time, those are more talents that you could have pad this feud out for at least another, at least until WrestleMania, to help pad this, if you want to make this a great feud, one of the world's greatest rivalries and things like that. You could have more padding, more time to get into this. Because when you think about a lot of the other greatest rivalries, you can pick some from the 80s, the 90s, the early 2000s. Those were built over years. Like, even recently, the most recent one I can think of will probably be maybe um Brock, Cena. You can go Cena, Orton, or Brock, Orton, but even those aren't great, right? Well, you can say Orton and Cena were, and then you got the stuff with Triple H, and then of course you got like Shawn Michaels, Bret Hart, Ric Flair, and everybody he's feuded with, things like that. It took like years and years to build upon those feuds, and then um, they always deliver great matches. With Charlotte and Sasha did, they always had good to great matches, but it's like they rushed so much. You know, like Hell in a Cell, Falls Count Anywhere, Last Man Standing. Those, it's like, first of all, the progression of those things were all out of order. Like the first match they should have did was maybe a no disqualification match, which was given to Nikki Bella and Carmella on the opposite brand. So okay, they could have did Falls Count Anywhere first, and then you could have led into maybe either the Hell in a Cell or the Falls Count Anywhere match. Well, no, it's Falls Count Anywhere. Then you do the Hell in a Cell, and then you do the Iron Woman match. You know, because that didn't. Then that'll make sense like that. Okay, you can say Sasha beat Charlotte in a Falls Count Anywhere, but then Charlotte beat Sasha in the cage. Okay, so now it's like, okay, they have one win apiece on each other in this situation. The only way, I was hoping for a loser leave Raw match, and then the loser gets traded for Becky Lynch. That way, it'll freshen up both brands and both people can have new storylines. But they went with the Iron Man match, which was great in its own rights. But then you had to, you know, I don't know how people want to call it at this point, but you know, her tapping out the last couple of seconds was kind of, and it should have been more of a struggle of like, I can understand them going 2-2, but then that last minute should have just been both of them, like Sasha with the bag leg trying to protect her title, trying to go into overtime, like, no, you're not going to beat me, you're not going to beat me like this, just trying to go into overtime or trying to let the clock run down, and then have Charlotte win at OT. You know, because Sasha Banks has overexerted herself trying to protect herself. And then you have Charlotte go for the knee after the ref, you know, has to reset the match for the OT. And then you can have Charlotte sneak attack or something like that. I don't know. It's just the women's division itself right now. If you look at it as a whole, there's so much talent there from NXT all the way up to the main roster. You have your Billie Kay, your Liv Morgans, your Amber Moons, your Asukas, your Naomi's, your Natalia's, your Alexa Bliss's, and your Becky Lynch's. Then you have your Nia Jax's, your Bayley's, your Sasha's, and your Charlotte's. Those are 4 great names. That's 12 names across 3 rosters right there. And the only people that seem to be using them right is the brand that has Nikki Bella, which is SmackDown. I mean, NXT is rebuilding right now, and I love what they're doing with, you know, Billie Kay and Peyton Royce, making them the beautiful people of NXT. I love that. But you look at Raw, it's like, am I really supposed to care about Nia Jax now? Am I really supposed to care that Bayley's finally getting her shot? You know, even though she's beaten Charlotte twice, I think 3 times now in a row, thanks to her win on Monday. I think she won. I can't remember. That's how bad it is. It's just like, are we supposed to care about the rest of the women on Raw now? At least on NXT and SmackDown, the secondary storyline for the women has at least kept some of the women in prominence. So if one of them automatically does, like Thursday, if Naomi comes out and say, "Hey, I've beaten you a couple of times. I've done this, I've done that," it'll be like, you know what? She should be at least in the running for number 1 contendership for the women's title on SmackDown. Same thing with Billie Kay and Amber Moon down at NXT. But nobody has a legitimate claim to number 1 contendership on Raw except Bayley, and that's by default. Except Bayley, and that's by default because they were just trying to slowly weave in some more story to the Sasha Banks Charlotte stuff to break up the monotony or something like that. So All I'm saying is, I love Charlotte. I love Sasha Banks. Both of them individually. I love Sasha Banks. Makes me worry about her, so that's why I care. Sasha Banks, when she's in the ring, I start to worry when she starts to do certain moves and start to do certain things, and like when she almost cracked her skull open on the steel steps at the pay-per-view on Sunday. That worried the crap out of me. And she's really good in the ring. She's because I think the way I, on Twitter, I play my heel persona and things like that. I follow the show as it's meant to be followed. I take my suspension of disbelief out of it. If it's still bad, I'm gonna let you guys know it's bad in the most polite way possible. Because Raw is the C show of the three brands. It's NXT, SmackDown, Raw. Well, shit, I'll give 205 Live over Raw sometimes. So it's because it's an hour program. But you see what I'm saying? And that's what a lot of the main stories on Raw. It's like, even with SmackDown, over the past couple of weeks, they have had padding because they didn't really have anything to go towards. And they're still putting on better shows than Raw. And it's all a whole. It's all in a whole. How do you have so much talent on Raw? We come to the Sami Zayns, the Seth Rollins, the Kevin Owens, the Jerichos, the Cruiserweights on there. But they don't know how to use them. You have Cesaro and Sheamus. There's so much talent on Raw for 3 hours. It should not be a problem. 5 matches, 20 minutes apiece. That's enough time right there. Even if you don't want to do 15 to 20 minutes for 5 matches, that's all we want. It's just matches. We want wrestling, but you're not giving us that. You're giving us sappy, crazy, stupid storylines that... What is up with the whole... Like, when I say things don't make sense, and I know I'm jumping subject now because I need to end this video, but I'll end it on this because this is going to be another rant for, like, storyline progression in 2017. How is Rusev still a heel? The only reason I can see Rusev being a heel because he's over excessively beating on Enzo and Cass, but at the same time, everything that they have put Rusev and Lana through make them faces. It makes them face. They've been tormented by The Rock, Roman Reigns, now Enzo and Cass. And Rusev is defending his woman's honor. Rusev is a face. I don't care what you guys say. Rusev is a baby face at this point. Other than that, we talk about the women's division. And I just feel like there's so much. They focus so much on trying to make a greatest rivalry. Even if you look at back over the matches, you're like, okay, where's the... Let's put it like this. When you look at the end of this rivalry, at this point, if Falls count... Well, kind of say Falls counts anyway. If Last Woman Standing is the ending point of Sasha and Charlotte right now, you're going to actually think, okay, where's the rest of it? Sure, they broke, first time ever Hell in a Cell, first time ever on the main roster, Woman Iron Man match. Yeah, they did that, but does it really matter in the long run? Because it was all forced and rushed. And that's my problem with this whole thing. It was forced and rushed. They could have had padding. They could have had Nia Jax or Bayley interject themselves in there just to pad it out for a few more months if they really wanted to do this. Like I said, they could have padded this out all the way until WrestleMania, and then the end result still could have been Charlotte versus Sasha and Iron Woman or something like that. It was just rushed, and I think that's a product of today, just things being rushed for viewer entertainment. But at the end of the day, I love those two competitors. I just feel like they were both rushed. Sasha Banks was really, really hurt in this feud, in my opinion. And now there's a lot of rebuilding to do on the Raw brand when it comes to the women's division. Leave your thoughts down below if you think I'm a quack job or if you think I'm somewhat on the money on this or in the ballpark. Just let me know. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Twitch, all in the description below. Share this video out with your friends so they can get their opinion commented as well. Like and all what shows your support, and subscribe if you have not already. And once you subscribe, please hit the little bell button to get a ring and a notification every time a new video goes live on this channel. You should be seeing 2 video links on the screen now. Click on one of those for extra entertainment. There will be more videos coming this week. I feel refreshed. I feel energized. And I'm ready to do this heading into the Christmas weekend, giving you guys content on content on content. But with all that being said, I am Shawn DaGamer, and I am